To do is plop it on like this, and then it's up to you if you want to keep it on while you're not talking. It away from you when you're not talking. Exactly, sounds like this and unwanted noise. If you guys can try.
Okay. Hopefully, Daniel Flores is the guy that's listening to us right now on their side of things. He's one of their producers. So, hi, Daniel. Let us know if you can hear us. Do y'all want to say hi?
Hello.
Hi.
Ooh.
Hello.
Hello.
Up to y'all. I'm okay with it. But if
That's fine.
There's a
Okay.
little bit of
there is, yeah.
Yeah. So
So would you rather? It's totally up to you guys. You guys can take a vote or.
Yeah, no, we can cut it.
another way.
Nope. Yeah. It'll be like we're talking to the air, which is, yeah, tough. Yeah.
It's like on radio.
Yeah, totally. Exactly.
Like on radio.
Yeah.
So I would, if no one
I
else
mean,
is
it's
opposed, I would rather not.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we can cut that. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can block it out.
Cool.
I tend to try to look at myself.
Yeah.
Looking, so
Yeah.
And
just have to remember to not slouch.
He says it's echoing. Okay.
Hello.
We'll turn down the volume in here real quick, Daniel, and try again.
I think we're okay.
Sorry. It's echoing a bit on they hear an echo essentially. Yeah. So I think maybe in-house speakers down. Yeah. I think it might be the in-house speakers. Yeah. Okay. We're going to test again. Okay, Daniel. We are testing again. Can you let me know if you hear an echo? I don't know what to say. Maybe y'all can practice saying hi. Sure. Yeah.
1,
2.
3.
4.
Is that better?
Testing.
Testing.
Waiting. On
1, 2,
here.
3. Test.
Mhm. I don't know. I guess we'll find out in a minute if that's any better. Still echoing. Okay. Cool. Thank you. It's still echoing, is what he's saying, or they can hear the echo on their end. Is it possible to cut off the speakers in here
So
completely
we're not going to be able to hear.
and still get a feed?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're going to
Let's
just
try
be
that.
pinged. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean we've live streamed panels here before. We had some Oscar directors here a couple days ago, actually. Yeah, but in those instances, there's actual people here, and it's a little bit easier to imagine as well. Right, yeah. I'll have to remember that for next time. That's what he was saying, but let's see. Can you still hear us? Oh yeah, I think it's still pretty loud in here. Like, can you let me know if you can hear the echo still, Daniel?
1, 2, 3. Test.
Test, 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 test. Test, test, test.
Is it just from one microphone?
I think it's from all of us.
All of us?
Yeah, there's still an echo. Yeah. That's your monitor? I feel like I can hear. Maybe it's just the
One.
room then.
Yeah.
It's probably the room. Oh. Okay. Yeah, Daniel, can you reload your page and just see if that makes a huge difference? And also
Hello.
let me know if it's like echoing to the point where you can't discern what we're saying. If it's just a slight echo, I think we'll be fine.
So when we're speaking here, I can hear, right? On like a speaker.
I can hear that
I can
too.
hear that.
Yeah.
What is that? Your monitor?
I don't know.
That's pretty loud.
That's pretty loud. I feel like there's probably back speakers here on too. Oh. Just that one there? Okay. Yeah. It sounds like it's out there.
Like that monitor is literally just the cue of what the feed is that you guys are saying.
Let's see what he's saying. Yeah, totally. Glad we're getting this worked out. He says we're good. Says it sounds fine. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Daniel. Nah, I think we're good. Okay. Feel free to give me a call back, Daniel, and we're going to turn off our mics. Yeah, I think what I'll do is just introduce y'all you each to talk for a couple. I'm also going to give some context around why the conversation. Start taking. Supposedly, they've got a few questions. They're going to. And then when I ask a question, whoever wants to like take a stab at it, you're welcome to probably ask first.
Yeah. I guess we're both Soviet B. Yeah, too, right?
I'm not sure how to differentiate.
Soviet B, Latinita, Soviet B, Haka. Haka Soviet. That's funny.
confuse you.
Yeah.
I think we're
Is
good.
there like good questions?
No, I'll take it from.
Okay.
I'm waiting for him to call.
All right, I'm gonna move. You should not hear anything.
Trying to find. Oh, they're dropping some stuff in. There was a study done or published in December 2015. It was a network capability study that the legislature published specific to Texas schools. It basically showed how well or not well schools were doing in Texas. Anyway, so it looks good. Okay. Okay.
We'll just wave to the air.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Will you give me like a minute before y'all want to go? Yeah, I would just give me a call. Okay. Okay. Okay, that sounds great. I have to lay with the kids. So they're working hard. I was telling Priscilla, so the Austin monitor is trying to, or the McCown monitor is trying to, like find their way into these spaces. And one of the ways that programming kids in classrooms, like free programming. So later this year, they're doing like a digital equity conference, and this is going to be that. They're kind of testing out whether this is like doable for classrooms,
Right.
whether it's valuable for teachers. And so yeah, they ran some articles earlier in the month kind of around the so this is very much, I think, a test for them as well. So they've got some teachers that are just doing it directly in their classrooms. They've also bused a few kids to Economic Development Center. They have in Mission, and they've set up like, and it's like it's a really cool space, but they've set up like a huge kind of like area for these students to watch this presentation and like two others that they've got planned after this. So that's what they're waiting on, is for those students to like get there and get settled in.
Yeah.
Once their buses are.
How many kids?
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't think that. Yeah. Yeah.
I was curious which schools were participating.
Yeah.
You
I'm
know,
not sure.
is it just one county or is it all the
Yeah,
counties
I've got
or
to find
just
out.
wondering?
Yeah, I don't know for sure. All they told me was PSJA school district and
And Mission.
Mission. Yeah. Hello?
Have you been to Valley or are you from Valley?
I'm from the Valley, yeah.
Okay,
So
okay.
I'm from Brownsville, so
Okay.
it's a little further south than.
Oh, we
The area
that
have
we're
a mic.
I'm from Cameron County too.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Which-
close up.
From the, okay.
Yeah.
Very small town.
Yeah.
Very small.
Sure. Yeah.
So we're,
Here, let me do it right
Cameron County's
Yeah.
representing here.
now. Okay, we're gonna turn our mics on. Keep them on. They kind of want to make sure that they're testing the equipment for the kids right now. Yeah.
If I need to leave at 1:45,
Yeah,
just get up and go.
I think so. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
All right.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure
We're not
you-
gonna hear the.
Yes.
Yeah. Testing.
And I'm gonna keep an eye on that as well. We can say bye.
So you're gonna announce me?
I think
leaving?
so.
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Okay.
I think that'd be better than the
Yeah,
awkward.
exactly. Just like, oh, where did she go?
Yeah. What kind of stuff are you working on right now for Google Meet?
Oh,
Okay. Sorry, I'm gonna
Okay.
get this. Also didn't mean to put you on the spot. If you
Okay.
want to like, Can you hear us? Okay. Cool. Yeah. Are you still gonna let us know? Okay. Okay, that sounds good. All right.
So one cool thing that I'm doing actually is a YouTube series called EDU 90.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Cool.
So we do like, it's supposed to be a minute and a half video, sometimes a little longer, but quick videos with tips and tricks how to use G Suite for education, also about our
sweet.
other programs that we
Yeah.
have, you know. So yeah.
Do you have some of those produced already? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you Google EDU 90 on YouTube, you're gonna find us.
Yeah. Well, so what I'm going to ask Daniel Flores with the monitor for is like Alyssa's schools have participated in the administrators that we could pass resources like that along to. I think that would be great. So if you don't mind sending the links, and I can put you in touch with these folks as well. Cool.
It's going, it's busy. It's really that's good.
Let's keep this busy.
Hello. Okay. 5 minutes. Okay. Can you just send me like a text before you want us to begin? I'll just like a minute before you want us to start. Okay. All right. Thanks. All right. Kids are getting set up.
I brought this.
Oh.
This is for me.
A literacy toolkit for Oh, the Texas State Library. Yes, I just met with some of those folks about their program. Not have enough money. I think that's the story with the launch. Yeah.
He's good. Yeah. Yeah, very good. He's going to be on that Southside panel. So she's getting ready for that. Sure. There's always stuff going on.
I feel like we could probably see some of that stuff is like particularly if we get a question about from teachers about resources, we could probably see some stuff. Yeah, you should definitely talk about the Texas State Library doesn't do a lot with the schools, just because the school libraries tend to be a lot better funded than yeah, their conversation was like they actually don't even have capacity to
But right now we're at,
do the research
like,
to
fortunately,
strengthen
there's no lakes.
access
So
to
we're still trying to build our cohorts.
starting to study this.
Group is really small, so.
Their average connection rate is like less than 10 minutes.
Recruiting, we're getting some cheap stuff.
And so that added in with like
Hopefully, maybe
lack of
this is
resources for
summer.
libraries in general.
Because we did it last summer. Just for, supporting technology, so. Hopefully doing it again.
Whenever we're ready. Okay.
Guess we should start meeting.
I know. Cool. Okay, we're gonna start. So for those that can see us, if you're in a classroom, Hello, my name is Daniel Lucio. I work with Google Fiber here in Austin. And we've got a panel of folks today to talk about things like digital inclusion and digital civic engagement, particularly for students. And we're very excited to be talking with students in the Rio Grande Valley. I'm from the Valley originally, and I know growing up there, I don't think we had internet until I was a senior in high school. And it really changed everything for me, including my ability to go to college. So being able to speak with students and teachers who are interested in this is really cool. And we've got a few panelists here. Silvia Butanda from Latinitas. This is Latinitas is an organization that works here in Austin to provide like STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math learning opportunities for young people in our area through schools and outside of schools. And yeah, that's really great. And I'm gonna have y'all talk about what y'all do a little bit. And we also have Sylvia Blanco, who is the Executive Vice President of the Housing Authority of City of Austin. They've had a really great digital inclusion program really here in Austin for the past few years. And it has kicked off a national program for housing across the country. So we're very happy that you're joining us here.
Thank you.
We also have Karen Green with an organization called El Buen Samaritano here in Austin. And y'all provide a number of services to families in the area, but the one thing that kind of stands out to me that's really cool is your like digital literacy lab. You've got a lab where you actually train people on different things as well. And we have Priscilla Ledera, and I'm trying to say that correctly. She's with Google for Education and works with schools across Texas to provide like things like resources and Google related type trainings, things of that. And so I'm really excited to have someone from Big Google here joining us as well. And just for some context for this conversation, we're partnered with Monitor News, which is based in the Rio Grande Valley. And they are committed really to highlighting the issue of digital inclusion. And this is just kind of the beginning of the conversation for them. So they are planning a digital equity conference later in the year. They want to have students participate. So this is the beginning of that conversation for them. And we're going to be taking questions from students. So students, teachers, if you're watching this, think about questions that you have for us, for these folks. Let folks in the room know. Send it over Twitter if you've got a Twitter account. There's an email as well, which your teachers should have received to be able to send us some questions. And I'm seeing some of them come in right now. So yeah, why is this conversation important? I think I'll probably ask y'all to talk briefly about what your organizations do, but I also want to include some information. So in the Rio Grande Valley in particular, there is a huge digital divide. In 2015, the National Digital Inclusion Alliance, the NDIA, released a report showing that as many as 40% of households there did not have internet access at home. It's huge. Amongst the metro areas in the country, that was the highest rate. There's also some studies that are showing that schools are increasingly underconnected and not keeping up with the demand that's required by their curriculums across the state of Texas. And in Austin, we face very similar challenges. We have about 50,000 households, close to 8% of our population here in Austin that are underconnected. So they either have no stable connection at home or no device to utilize a connection. And that's huge. So I'm hoping that y'all can talk a little bit about how your programs kind of attack that problem. Do you want to start?
Sure, I'll go ahead and
Sure.
start. So First off, Latinitas, our mission is to empower all girls to innovate through media and tech. So we offer enrichment programs throughout the year, such as summer camps, conferences, workshops, after-school clubs that focus on, exposing these girls to these media and tech skill sets, anything from blogging and photography, video and audio production, to more high-tech things such as coding, 3D printing, graphic and game design, app development, robotics, coding. All of these tools that are just very important for them to know. And especially in a place like Austin that's nicknamed Silicon Hills, I think it's very valuable for them to know these skill sets starting at the age of 9, which is when we start to work with them. So the way we kind of bridge the digital divide is that, these programs give the girls the starting tools or the starting pack, to get interested in STEM, to get interested in technology. And down the line, they will be the ones, working in the tech industry here in Austin. These companies are bringing in so many opportunities, well-paying jobs such as entry-level coders, but who is taking those positions? Certainly not people that grew up here, certainly people that are experiencing that digital divide right now, which is women, people of color, and yeah, we just want to move the needle on that in terms of representation of women and people of color in the tech industry as it pertains to Austin and the nation as a whole.
Awesome. Thank you.
That's great. Well, I want to also give a shout out to the Rio Grande Valley. I'm also a fellow Valleyite, born and raised in the Rio Grande Valley, and actually from a very, very small town, Santa Rosa, in Cameron County. And so I came up to UT, like a lot of folks who come up from high school. But just to give you a little context, when I graduated high school, internet wasn't even around. I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but you can put 2 and 2 together. So as you can imagine, so with the Housing Authority of the City of Austin, we serve extremely low income families. On average, their annual household income is just a little over $11,000. So we're talking about folks that truly would have to make a decision between paying for internet access or filling prescriptions or buying groceries for their family. And so we recognized as an agency that if our families truly are going to reach self-sufficiency, access to the internet was going to just be a critical element. It's just become so ubiquitous these days. It's like having running water in your homes or electricity, and especially with more and more curriculum going online, kids having to turn in homework assignments online to their teachers, doing research assignments and everything. It was just such a critical piece to our youth and adults seeking employment to just have that level playing field. And so, as Danny mentioned, several years back, we had an opportunity to partner with Google Fiber to bring a critical element to that piece, which is access to the internet. But we knew that in order for it to be truly impactful, we needed to have the other 2 elements to that puzzle, which is access to a device to utilize the internet service and access to meaningful training, digital literacy training, to understand the relevance behind having access to those tools. And so we launched Unlocking the Connection back in 2014, which brought those 3 critical elements together. And it's really helping, as Sylvia mentioned, to move that needle in the right direction to help connect our residents to those tools that are going to help them to reach ultimate self-sufficiency. So we're really excited to be partnering with Google Fiber and other great partners in the community to make that happen.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like we've seen that directly impact students and their families so far, like in that very short time frame. Students have been able to utilize those services and devices to do homework, to get into college.
Yes, one prime example comes to mind. Christine Weir, who was a graduating senior, didn't have the internet access until Google Fiber came through at her property in Menchaca Village. And through that access, she was able to not only apply for college, but apply for scholarships. And she graduated valedictorian of her graduating class and is now a UT student majoring in biomedical engineering of all things. So again, through that access, it made a huge difference in the direction of her life. So it's life changing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you. Karen?
Sure. At El Buen Samaritano, which is in South Austin, besides having a medical clinic for those who are uninsured, we also have a family literacy program. So we're working with families as well. So we have an after-school tutoring program and a summer camp that includes some coding for kids, for the older kids in middle school. But the family literacy also includes a lot of adults who have young children, or their children are just starting school, or they're already in school. They're learning English. Many of our adult students are learning English, and they're wanting to be able to help their kids in school with their schoolwork. We have a lot of adults also who, although they have a smartphone, don't really know how to use it. So we're asking all of our families what kinds of information they need and what they need to access in order to basically have some training for them. So we have ongoing semester-long digital literacy classes teaching the very, very basics. There are many people who do not know how to use a computer at all, have never touched a computer, and they have a difficult time having their children teach them. So we want to be able to have a safe space for the adults to take a basic level class in order to feel like they can really help their kids and be on the same page as their kids and ask all of the questions, and we have all of the patience for them. So we have about 800 adults coming to us each year, and many of those are learning about computers.
Wow, that's a ton.
Most of them are learning English, and a lot of them
Sure.
are also coming to computer classes.
Very cool. Thank you.
So, Priscilla with Google for Education, and I believe a lot of people know G Suite for Education, which is our free tool for schools. But we also offer a lot of curriculums that will help bridge that gap. So, for example, CS First is a free curriculum that any school can use with their students to get students started with computer science, get excited about the computer science world. Also, we have Applied Digital Skills, which is another curriculum free for all the schools that they can use to teach those students how to use those digital tools and skills on the workplace. Another great one, it's Be Internet Awesome.
Yeah, I love that one.
Yeah, so kids could be safe on the internet. They know how to use the internet in a good way. They know what is true and what is not. So Google for Education has a range of resources that students and teachers can use for free. Another way that we try to bridge that gap, it's by making devices more accessible, making them more affordable.
Awesome. Yeah, I remember we did kind of like a Be Internet Awesome kickoff here. And students, if you are in class and allowed to get on the computer and check this out, beinternetawesome.com is a great website that kind of teaches you about web security and being safe online. It's got games on it, which are actually really cool. But we had a kickoff here, and the teachers actually got really into it when they were hanging out here as a tool.
It's a great curriculum. Yeah. Everybody should check it out.
Yeah, definitely. Great. Okay. So our first question on here, and again, if you are watching, please feel free to submit questions to us. Okay. How do students, or how can students get involved with issues of digital inclusion or equity in their communities? How can you see them playing a role in bridging that digital divide? Anybody want to start? I'm going to throw this to Oh, yeah. No, go for it.
I was just going to, from the Housing Authority's perspective, what we have found has been very impactful in helping the residents of our properties learn more about digital literacy, and help with the fear factor, because a lot of folks who have never been exposed or used a computer are afraid they're going to break it, or
Yeah.
they're going to press the wrong button, something's going to
Sure.
blow up. And so a model that we have used is called an ambassador program, where we recruit youth from the properties to be that connector with their fellow neighbor. And so that has helped more of the residents to just get more acquainted with digital literacy, come into our properties computer labs, and just help to demystify the process of getting onto a computer, and also getting to learn more about how to use their smartphones, for example. So I think that is a way for youth to get more connected in their community. Maybe there's a way to create some type of an ambassador or a connector program to where they help out their fellow neighbor. Maybe it's their they live next door to someone who's a senior and may want to learn more about digital literacy, and that's a way for them to just bridge that gap.
Yeah, I can definitely identify with that. I feel like I was a personal ambassador to my parents of like the computer world. Like they were just terrified of having a computer in the house because they saw, I think they saw the movie The Net with like Sandra Bullock back in the day, and like that framed their entire like understanding of internet. And so it was just like, we can't have that in the house. We can't do it. It's too much. But yeah, acting as an ambassador to your like neighbors and family, that's a really great way for students to be able to kind of spread the word. That's awesome. Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to add to that. In addition to being an ambassador with your family and your friends, and just teaching them what you know, also taking your skill sets to your community and volunteering that knowledge. With Latinitas, we have college age and professional women that come forward and try to help us bridge that, demystify what tech is, what opportunities there are, how they can get involved by just connecting to the girls, by connecting to the community that needs that information, that needs that knowledge from you. Since you already are so well versed in different platforms or different tools, I think that it's really valuable if you pay it forward and you show that to someone that may need it. So that could be a family member, that could be a friend, or that could be a whole group of girls that would want to learn from you and would want to hear that information.
Yeah, and I wanted to add to just adding to what you guys just said. Just make this as maybe an internship or create a club at your school. We've seen some schools that do a similar program in terms of the students are the ones that run the technical shop where the kids need to fix their computers or they have any issue. We have some schools doing that. So it works as an internship. So it's a way for them to learn and to teach as well. And so just be aware that you have a voice and that you can make a difference, not just because you're a kid. You have that chance to make a difference in people's life. And I think they need to realize too that internet, a lot of people did not grow up with that, right?
Yeah.
And so we take it for granted sometimes. I wasn't born with the internet, but it has been around for so many years in my life that I take it for granted. I think everything it's connected, but it's not. And you can make a difference in people's lives that don't have the access yet, don't know how to use it.
Wow. Yeah, it's really good. Karen, do you have anything to add on there?
Just that students can be wonderful teachers. And I agree with everything that everybody said.
Yeah, that's really great. Yeah. I think, just I want to re-impress upon folks who are listening and watching, particularly like us older folks, like we did not grow up with the internet necessarily. Like I'm just getting used to emojis. So like go easy on us. But also keep it up. And you can be an ambassador. That's really great. So there's quite a few questions coming in. It looks like from students in PSJA and Twitter. One of them is there an age range that you see is more involved with learning about digital literacy? If so, like what is that? I think some of that was covered in the answers that we had. Do y'all have any better answers for that one? It was from Twitter. So one of the students watching. Yeah, like age range is a good age range to get involved in digital literacy efforts.
I think nowadays there isn't like a certain age. The babies are born with tablets on their hands and touching things. So I think as soon as you hand a tablet or a phone to a kid, that's when you start teaching them how to use this properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with that for sure. I mean, we have girls that are 7 years old and just, code whiz kids. I mean, it's never too early to learn about it. But yeah, as long as they have access to it, they should be informed.
Awesome.
And it's never too late, because I have many retired folks or older folks that are just learning just now, and it's never ever too late.
Awesome. So no age range.
I agree.
Really?
My mom, so I'm from Brazil and my mom is still there. And I had to teach her how to use a Chromebook, a cell phone, so we can keep, connected. She wasn't connected at all. And it takes her, she's slow, but she learned. So, yeah.
Great. Okay, we've got a couple of questions that I can get to really quickly coming in from PSJA. One of them is, what is Google Fiber? How does it get to communities, and will it ever get to the Valley? That's a great question, and I'll take that one. Google Fiber is a high-speed internet product. It's something that Google invested in a few years ago and is only in specific cities right now. In Texas, we are in Austin and San Antonio, and our goal is to kind of disrupt the way that things are with current internet providers. Generally, connections are slow. I think the average speed in the United States right now is 18 megs. It's much lower in places like the Rio Grande Valley. I don't know if and when we're going to the Rio Grande Valley. That is a great question. I do know that there are several cities like FAR, for example, that are working on municipal broadband projects to increase speed in the Rio Grande Valley. So there are some efforts across the valley to increase that by your cities, by lobbying internet service providers in those communities. There's a woman named Jordana Barton with the Federal Reserve that's working on some projects in the Valley as well to increase access. There's also some cool projects like the Tech Bus, which is a project based in Hidalgo County, where it's a bus that goes around and distributes mobile Wi-Fi for communities that don't have it. So there's some cool projects happening there to connect underserved communities. We're kind of keeping an eye on it from Austin, but I don't think Google Fiber has plans to be in the Valley anytime soon. Yeah. Okay, other questions? Whoa. Do you have any experiences from students that your curriculum and your programs were effective and made an impact, that you've seen be particularly impactful? Any of the programs that y'all have worked on?
Well, I know I'm already repeating myself. I mentioned Christine Weir, for example, who again did not have access to the internet in her home, and but with the connection coming from Google Fiber and having access to a device, it truly made a huge difference in her future, being able to again apply online for college, and then also ultimately apply for scholarships. And so again, she's at the University of Texas. I think she's in her second year now, and thriving, doing a great job. And so we want to have 10,000 more Christine Weirs in our housing properties. And I think through, again, bringing those three critical elements home, it's going to make a huge impact. And again, we're starting from preschool age.
Yeah.
We're doing preschool programs through play and learn programs where they're learning how to use tablets, but it's not only the child, it's the parent as well. and robotics and STEMs programs that, again, are being provided on site. And this is all in partnership with a lot of great organizations. As a housing authority, we're a landlord first and foremost, but we know that housing is only the beginning.
Yeah.
And so we partner with a lot of great organizations such as Google Fiber, Skill Point Alliance, Latinitas, and El Buen Samaritano to bring the critical programs to our residents to help break the cycle and bridge the gap. And so that we're trying to be as flexible as we can so that we're not just so prescriptive and we make the curriculum too rigid. We want to stay flexible and also keep up with changing technology. Things are just rapidly changing and evolving in the technology world. And so we want to be malleable and be able to provide through our partners whatever's cutting edge, whatever is coming up, just again, to make sure that the residents that we serve have just as many opportunities as their peers do. And again, it's about ensuring that they too have a level playing field to compete and to be productive members of society. And so whatever program that is going to help them get to the next rung, I think we'll do whatever we can to ensure that we can provide access to that.
Awesome. Yeah. Other examples of programs that y'all have seen?
I can add a little bit. We, Google for Education, it's very known nationwide, and what we're seeing, it's people having more access to devices that they couldn't have before because Chromebooks are so much more affordable. But also we have a school in the Austin area that they're going to partner with us to actually include those curriculums in their schools, but because their high school, it's for kids, that maybe became a parent or they have to work to help their family. So they're special students and they need a special curriculum as well. And we're partnering with them to make sure they have those digital skills to go into the workforce. So they're not just stuck on that entry level positions that sometimes they have to go to in order to support their family, but they can start with that and then move forward because they're gaining those real digital skills for the workplace.
Awesome. Anything else?
Yeah, well, I mean, Latinita, since its origin in 2002, so 16 years of delivering media and tech enrichment programs, the origin was giving girls a voice through our online magazine, through our on-the-ground programs. And, those first classes have since graduated from high school and college and are now in the workforce. So we've seen the impact of our programs, that they are now filmmakers, they are now in bilingual education, they are now, working in media and tech because that's where, they found their interest through us. And so now we're diving more into technology, into advanced tech, like I mentioned earlier, 3D printing and game design, app design, because that's where Austin is headed. That's where, the career opportunities are. So that's where we see a lot of the girls gaining an interest right now. We're planting the seed for tech, for STEM interest, and it's working. I mean, our Cochica conference that we had, 63% of the girls had never coded before, and afterwards, we asked them, "Are you interested in a STEM career?" And majority say yes. Sure. So yeah, it's working in terms of our programs, our curriculum, because it's not just about teaching them STEM and media. It's about connecting that to their identity and their culture, so then they can see themselves in these roles, moving forward.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm really excited about y'all's gaming conference that's coming up to teach girls, I guess, like how to get involved in that space. Right? That's
Yeah, because game design, at least the first thought that comes to my mind is just someone sitting in front of a screen for hours. But
sure.
the game industry is more than that. There's room for creative people. There's room for new perspectives, and there's definitely a need for representation of women and people of color in the gaming industry. So that's why we're tackling that.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, there are some heavy questions on here that we're gonna get to from folks, and y'all feel free to like chime in on some of these. These are coming from students in the PSJA area as well. So they're asking about whether internet should be treated as a utility, and how do internet projects go about being funded? I guess in a way that they can understand. Yeah. There's like 3 questions on here about that. So yeah, I don't know if y'all want to like take a stab at that.
Well, I'll at least take the first part of that
Sure, yeah.
question about whether internet should be treated as a utility. In my opinion, yes, it should, because again, it's become so ubiquitous. Everyone treats it like it's turning on the light in their homes, having running water in their homes. It's just become so universal. And again, because so many services, job applications, employment searches, everything has become more digital, online, and even to receive basic benefits, the application process has become electronic. And so I feel that because of so many of those programs and services going electronic, and just again to make it more streamlined and efficient, access to the internet is vital.
Yeah.
And so I do feel that it should be treated as a utility by the government.
Yeah.
I agree with Sylvia, because it just became part of our life. We use it all the time, not just to tweet. Like if you use Google Maps, if you shop online, if you want to look for a doctor or a dentist, anything, at least I look for everything online. So I think if you don't have access to the internet, you're gonna be behind. And you're not going to be able to succeed, because everything now, applications, if you want to look for a job, you're going to be much more successful and be able to find the perfect or the better match or fit to you through the internet, right? So yes, I agree, it should be treated as utility. Yep.
Awesome.
I don't think I have a brain anymore. I think my brain lives in Google.
Sure.
And so when I encounter someone who hasn't had that experience of looking for information, or I bring them to Google Maps and they can scroll in enough to actually see their family's home in Guatemala, let's say.
Sure.
It's amazing. Light bulbs go on, and it's this basic space that we can create for them to then see that there is no limit.
Yeah.
So I believe that we can open the door for them. And there was a question about funding.
Yeah. How do you get like internet funded in your area? How do you get free internet was actually one of the questions.
We found, well, there's several different ones that are trying to do it. But we found one very recently it's called Mobile Beacon.
Yeah, Mobile Beacon.
And they are, I believe, in Rhode Island. But they find partners all over the United States, and they are trying to offer low-cost mobile internet, mobile hotspots.
Yeah.
So I think there's more and more organizations or companies that are trying to partner and offer something that's more accessible.
Yeah. Yeah, Mobile Beacon and PCs for People, you all partnered with them recently to do a device refurbishment program and get folks connected, actually. And that's actually something that can be replicated if there are teachers or school school administrator folks that are watching this, they're always looking for partners in different parts of the country. And if that's the type of program you think might benefit your community, which I think it would, let us know and we'll get you connected with them, Mobile Beacon. But that was a really great program actually to see rolled out.
There's also everyoneon.org.
Oh yeah, everyone. Yep.
That is a great nonprofit, and they were a big partner of ours early on when we were launching our digital inclusion initiative. And so they also can provide some resources for either very low cost and maybe even free internet service within the communities that you all live in. So everyoneon.org would also be a great resource.
Yeah, that website, exactly how it is, because that's also the name of the organization. That can be confusing. So it's everyoneon.org. And you can actually check what services are available in your area through that, what free and low cost internet service options are. I want to expand on that response just a little bit, because I think from the Google Fiber standpoint, I think we're actually regulated a lot like a utility already, right? There's federal things happening. The federal government has policies that kind of regulate what we do, the state government, the local government, but I don't think it's yet, we've not reached a point where it's like a right for folks to have that. And certainly that's something what we're striving for. And I think we want to make sure that we're ahead of those conversations as an internet service provider, by saying, what are we doing to get more folks in our community connected? So yeah, check out everyoneon.org to see what the internet options are in your area if you don't have it. And you can do what I did with my parents, which is just beg them for a year if you don't have internet at home, and hopefully get it. So yeah, a few more questions on here. Let's see. Oh, there's more at the bottom. Why is it important to help communities like the Rio Grande Valley? That's a good question. Anybody want to take those?
Well, and being from the Rio Grande Valley myself, when I came to UT, I won't say how many years ago, but
for college.
Yes, for college.
For college.
Yes, for college. I really, it was a culture shock. There were a lot of differences in just studying and preparing for classes that I just wasn't prepared for. And I loved my teachers. I thought they were great. It was a very close-knit community, but there were definitely gaps in just preparing for college life.
Sure.
And I think that it's important for everyone, including students, people living in the Rio Grande Valley, to not be left behind. I think it's important for everyone to have equal access to great educational opportunities, and to have access to the same opportunities for good paying jobs, and for opportunities to pay it forward to the next generation of folks and kids in the Rio Grande Valley. The culture is so vibrant. It's very close knit. It's families are very close and take care of one another. And that's what I love about being from the Valley. And so we have so much to contribute to the economy, to the rest of the industries that are out there. And so, people from the Valley should not be discounted. We are a wonderful group of folks who have so much to offer the rest of not only the country, but the rest of the world. And so I think we should not be left behind.
Totally. Yeah.
I completely agree. Like Silvia and Danny, I'm from the Valley. I was born and raised in Brownsville, went to UT, had that same culture shock where you realize Brownsville and really the rest of the valley. I mean, there's just so much potential. There's so many people there that have the tools, they have the drive, they have the ideas to do something with them. So I think that, just not being left behind. I mean, it's really crucial to just have these opportunities for y'all. I mean, Latinitas, we eventually want to make our way to the valley and offer these programs to girls in Brownsville, in Harlingen, in McAllen.
Y'all are in El Paso right now,
We're
right?
in El Paso and Austin, slowly making our way out in Central Texas, and
Sure.
eventually, Houston, Dallas, and definitely the RGV. I mean, it's a very personal mission for me to have Latinitas make its way down there, because it's you want to be the future. You want to be the driving force. You want all the CEOs and directors to come out of the South Texas, because the talent is there and the value is there as well.
Awesome. Anything to add, Joe?
I think they said it all. Like, why not?
Yeah.
You guys are important, and I think we need to help everyone. So why not?
Yeah. And Priscilla, I know you've got to go soon in a couple minutes. I want to start this next question because I think it's a good one with you, and then we'll wave goodbye to you. Is there a healthy balance to keep in mind when you're working with like younger children or students in terms of balancing the amount of like digital literacy we teach them in old-fashioned methods of teaching? I think this question really speaks to kind of like digital versus non-digital in the classroom, right? Like what's healthy amount of screen time versus like chalkboard, I guess, that kind of thing. Do you have any opinions about that?
I wouldn't say like I haven't read any research that says, 40% of the time you need to be on a computer, or 50%, things like that. But I think we need to make sure we give these kids access and they know how to use it, even if they are not being supervised. And I think the Be Internet Awesome, it's a good curriculum because it teaches you how to be safe on the internet and not just use it on your social life, right? On your work, so you can be prepared for the workforce. So I believe the answer for that is to teach the kids how to use this in a way that's going to benefit them. Because I think in life, everything is about balance. If you drink too much water, you're going to get sick, right? So if you feel like you're spending too much time on the screen and doing things they're not adding value to you, I think that's too much. Yeah.
It's a good practical way of looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you for joining us. And if folks in the Valley, PSJA, McAllen, Mission, if you want to get a hold of someone from Google for Education, let us know, reach out, and certainly reach out to the monitor, and they'll reach out to us, and we'll get in touch.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. I appreciate it. What do y'all think about the kind of like screen time versus non-screen time question?
I have more experience with adults, that's for sure.
Sure.
And I think in a way we need to have more screen time than they have had before, just to blend the learning that they're having with a book plus things they can do online to learn and go in the direction they want to go. So for adults who haven't had experience with computers, this is not necessarily the question, but I think they need more access.
More access. Yeah. Digital learning. Okay.
Just what we do at Latinitas with our activities and the programs, we're always wanting them to have access to the internet and access to these media and tech platforms and tools. But we always, want them to do it with a purpose. So, they always have collaboration and brainstorming time and time away from the devices to come together and collaborate and to, figure out the solution or the response to their issue. But when it comes to actually using technology, it's always with a purpose. So is it to, are they making this video to inspire action? Are they creating this, this piece of technology to get awareness? So it's just always about having them think of the bigger picture. Like, okay, why am I doing this this video right now on 3D printing? Like, what is the whole purpose of this? It's not just busy work. It's meant for them to think and to think critically of it.
Sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, and I just want to echo what Sylvia and Karen were saying. I think it's all in moderation and ensuring that there's a good balance. I grew up without internet, without a computer in my home, and so I enjoyed, going out and riding my bike and spending time with my friends, just hanging out. And so I think it's in moderation, ensuring that it doesn't monopolize all of your time, and it's for a purpose. It's a tool like anything else, and hopefully you use it for good.
Yeah, it's a great way to do it. There were a couple more questions about Google Fiber. I will get to those, but I think they've probably got things that y'all can speak to as well. One of them is, are we expanding beyond the US? Like, are we targeting Mexico as well? Is fiber going to expand there? Right now, we don't have plans to. Google Fiber is really focused on making sure that our model in the cities that we're in works. And it looks a little bit different in every city, right? So we want to make sure that we've got the right formula of products and the right formula of connectivity and the right formula of partnerships to make sure that we're successful in there before we start talking about expansion. We also have a new CEO. So and I'm excited about that. So we could have, he could have a whole different idea of the direction that our company is going to take the next couple of years. So we'll see. And the other question related to that was, what is Google Fiber's responsibility in bridging the digital divide? And I think we can kind of generalize this to what are internet service providers' responsibility or role in bridging that divide. So that's a good question. I will say from Google Fiber's perspective, we're not the experts on this. Like, that's the first thing. That's why we've got folks here to talk about their respective work. What we want to do is provide a forum and empower community partners to be able to do the work that they need to do to bridge the divide. And that looks different in every community. My colleagues in places like Huntsville or Provo, Utah, work with very different types of partners, different programs there, and it really depends on the community. And as far as our responsibility, I would say it takes a community, right? So we're one piece of many different entities and people that play a role in this, be it the city government or even like celebrities who have like helped like bridge the digital divide and support programs and our staple community programs like the housing program here, Housing Authority for the city of Austin, or our libraries or our schools. Everyone plays a different role, and I think we all have some amount of responsibility in that and in helping one another. So that's kind of my perspective about it. What do you all think?
Here's an interesting example of a community partner you might not think about, would be every single bank.
Oh yeah.
Every single bank could help someone to do online banking. Just a quick example of someone who told me that she would drive kind of far to go to the bank to check her balance. A lot.
Wow.
And then her banker, who she knew by name, the teller, took the time to teach her how to get banking on her phone. It was an eye-opening experience for her. She didn't know it was safe. She didn't really trust it. She didn't know how to use it. So every single banker,
Yeah.
if someone says, no, I don't do online banking, why not?
Yeah,
They
that's
could
a
take
great example.
responsibility to do digital literacy there.
Yeah, I think there are some banks that are starting to look at that. I know locally we've talked to, like, I think Citi has invested in some things and Wells Fargo, but that's a great point. That's another community institution that probably has a big role in folks' times and day. That's
They do financial literacy, but not digital financial literacy.
right. Yeah, that's great. What do y'all think?
Well, I completely agree in what you said, Danny. It does take a village. And so it takes a lot of partners in the community to bring the services together to make it meaningful, effective, and also so that you're not duplicating effort. So, for example, with unlocking the connection through the housing authority, again, Google Fiber obviously plays a critical role in providing the internet access, but we also partner with a lot of great organizations to bring what they do best to the table, which is the training piece. And we partner with local community colleges, ACC here in Austin, to provide the access to a donated device. And we've actually been able to expand that to now we have another corporate partner that provides us retired laptops. So, you know, there's UTPA and there's UT Brownsville and others that, you know, maybe could provide some type of partnership similar to that, where as they refresh their computer labs in their campuses, they can funnel those retired devices to their neighborhood communities to provide access to a device. So I would say be creative, you know, think outside the box in ways to you know, bring those resources together and leverage strengths. And I think also with regard to the responsibility of internet service providers, I know that the Federal Communications FCC had several years ago expanded Lifeline services to also include an affordable broadband component. And so I know that AT&T and other providers have stepped up and provided a basic offering, but again, to just at least get your foot in the door to at least provide some basic access to your home. And so I would encourage folks to also look at that, AT&T and others that may be providing a very low cost internet offering through Lifeline. And some folks who do qualify for Lifeline, that may already be covered.
Sure.
So yeah, I would research and explore those options as well.
Great. Cool. I think we're going to wrap it up. It sounds like the students have another forum coming up down there in the Valley, which is great. Hope you enjoy it. Do y'all have anything else to add before we close up? Any final thoughts? No? Great. Oh, yeah.
Well, hey, come up to UT, come up to you know, other colleges, expand your horizons. You know, do those campus visits and see what else is out there that is available to you. So I would say just the sky's the limit for everyone. So good luck with your studies, and you know, go class of 2018.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Sorry. No matter what happens, we're going to need innovators. We're going to need creative people in the world. So you're at the place where you can decide to be that next generation, that next workforce that moves the needle, that brings new, fresh ideas to the table.
Yeah.
And your parents can be students too, and be patient with them.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Be patient with your parents. Be patient with us. Show us the way. Thank you all for having us in the classroom today. And thanks to the monitor for putting this together. We're very excited about that. And we will see you all again soon. Bye.